Hello, welcome to Carol's Kitchen. Tonight on Carol's Kitchen we have a really nice special guest appearance by Mr. Anthony Dias-Blue. He's an author and cook extraordinaire. This is his book. It just came out. It's called Thanksgiving Dinner, and he's going to demonstrate many recipes from the cookbook. He's also a food and wine spirits editor for Bon Appetit. You can probably tell them some of the other things that you do.
Well, I have a daily radio show on CBS Radio, and I talk about food and wine and recipes and anything else I can think of. And I also have a television show on Financial News Network that's a half-hour every week.
Right. That's not in our area, though.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. And what else? You also write for certain
I've written for, I have a syndicated column, and Bon Appetit I'm in every month, and that keeps me pretty busy.
Right.
And other books and so on.
Maybe you'd like to just explain a little bit about how you got interested in this particular type of a cookbook and the theme based on Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving has always been something that my wife and I have been passionate about, and she's my co-author, as you see.
Right.
And we just felt very strongly that Thanksgiving was our favorite meal of the year. And matter of fact, we became so obsessive about it that we would think about recipes in the spring. So we decided to put them all in a book.
I did read through your book, and there were some really nice recipes, well laid out, and I really enjoyed especially the vegetable section, which utilized a lot of vegetables that people tend to forget about today, such as the root vegetables, and nice combinations for the winter.
Well, those are the vegetables of the season. And I think that Thanksgiving is more than just a wonderful American feast. It's part of a tradition that goes back over many cultures. It's a harvest feast. So we're celebrating the bounty of our fields, and this is important. I mean, I wouldn't serve spring vegetables at Thanksgiving.
You wouldn't serve asparagus?
No, you serve the vegetables that are in the market, that are fresh, and so on. I mean, we have the problem in this country now of having too good a food delivery system. So you might have strawberries from Mexico or something like that, but they're inappropriate for Thanksgiving. The first thing that you have to think about, I mean, the focal point of any Thanksgiving is the turkey. And although there are alternatives to turkey, I don't think it's Thanksgiving without turkey, do you?
I agree with you. Yeah, turkey is Thanksgiving for us as well. So maybe you can start explaining some of these items that you brought today.
Well, I have here a fresh, unadorned turkey, and fresh is really an important thing. I think that people are making a big mistake with a frozen turkey. Fresh turkey is easier to deal with, and it makes a much better turkey in the long run. Kathy and I tested fresh turkeys and frozen turkeys side by side. There was no comparison.
And if you recommend getting fresh turkey, how soon in advance would you consider putting your name in? Or
I think you should put your name in now. I mean, or at least go to the market where you generally buy your meat and say to the meat person, I'm going to be in here on Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to want a 16 or 18 pound turkey. Can you put one aside for me? It's not absolutely necessary, but it alleviates last-minute problems that might arise. The wonderful thing about fresh turkey is that it is so moist, whereas a frozen turkey, when it freezes, the water, as you know, water expands when it freezes, so it tears down the tissues. And when the thing is defrosted, even though you do the correct defrosting method, which is 5 hours per pound in the refrigerator, it still loses moisture.
It's crystallized, and then when it when it defrosts.
And so what you get is a turkey that's dry and a little bit tough, and for leftovers it's useless, because by the next day it's really dried out.
There's no difference in price, so
there's a slight difference in price, but it's not worth the savings. Because this is the focal point of a very important meal. Your family, your friends, you know, you might as well do the best you possibly can. Now we have a little trick with the fresh turkey. Incidentally, this is an all-natural turkey. It has no additives whatsoever. It's a brand that we found called Shady Brook Farms, which is an all-natural turkey, and we tested all of our recipes with this particular brand. And They're wonderful. See, good housekeeping seal. I mean, how bad can it be?
And they're not pumped up with
No, there's
anything.
nothing. I mean, some of these things that have names that I won't even mention, they have subcutaneous injections of vegetable oil and additives and preservatives, and you know who needs that?
Some unknown material.
This is an all natural, lovely turkey. So what we do.
It has the pop-up timer. Which
It has the pop-up timer, which is very useful. Actually, you should not rely exclusively on that, however. I think that still, it's a good guideline, but if you have a meat thermometer, put it right here in the upper thigh toward the end of the roasting period, and if the juices run clear and the temperature is over 170, your bird is done. Now what we do...
And don't have it touch the bone.
That's right. Now what we do is we take a combination of, this is soy sauce and this is molasses. Just put them together like this.
I thought this was a wonderful idea when I read the book.
This is not for flavor really, it's for color. And we just found the two darkest things we could find in the kitchen. So what we do just before the thing goes into the oven is paint it with this. And you will be amazed at, you want to try this?
Sure. Okay, you paint it before?
Just paint it before it goes in the oven.
And do you brush it continuously as you're...
No,
just
you
once?
don't have to. I mean, maybe you can do it once again if it's not turning brown as it should. But the key thing is, this will turn your turkey into a mahogany color. I mean, it is so beautiful. And people who like skin, and most people like that crunchy skin.
Well, we won't talk about eating skin here.
Yeah, right, okay. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Okay, and would you use the leftover here in making up the gravy after? Or
well, now that's a very good point, because as you baste with this, and if you're collecting the pan drippings underneath, I mean, the turkey should be set on a V-shaped rack up high so that heat circulates around it. So the pan drippings underneath are the drippings that you're going to add to your gravy at the end will be dark because of this this glaze. So you don't have to, I mean, sometimes the gravy comes out and it's kind of almost blonde in color, and that's...
And then we have to add Gravy Master, so this eliminates
so
that
this
Gravy
eliminates
Master.
that problem.
Right, okay.
And the results are incredible. And if, perchance, you feel that it's getting too dark, then tint it for however long, a half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever during the cooking time, and tint it with aluminum foil with the shiny side down.
Okay.
But for the last half hour to 45 minutes, make sure that it is not tinted, and that's when it'll get really, really brown. This is the basic stuffing. We start with a kind of an egg bread, like a challah or any kind of a eggy bread. And what you do is you cut it into these little cubes like this, and then just leave it out in your kitchen for 3 or 4 days, or however long it takes for it to dry out and get stale like this. You see, this is
so
really...
you want it to dry out naturally.
It's really stale.
Yeah? Okay, you don't want to put it in the oven and force it.
Oh, well, you can, but I think that this is the easiest way to do it. Then, what we do is we take, let's say that we have about a pound and a quarter of you know, the ingredients don't have to be exactly measured. I mean, the stuffing is kind of a... You know, just the way you feel it, you know. But
it's not like baking. You can.
No, it's very easy to do. And if you vary the ingredients for some reason or other because you've got certain things on hand, it's not a problem. There are just certain things that you want to do. You want to have a balance of bread and some things for texture and some other things for flavor. So the next thing we do is we add, this is a medium onion that's been chopped, and 3 or 4 celery stalks that have been cut, and you saute them just for about, you know, in any kind of oil or margarine or whatever. Just saute them until they get soft and translucent, but not brown. Okay, so now we add those to the bread, and that's there. Okay.
That seems easy enough so far, huh?
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Let's get them all in there. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, now this is called a sausage crouton stuffing, so we're going to have to use some sausage. Now you say, pork sausage?
I didn't say that yet.
Pork sausage high in cholesterol, high in fat. No, we don't use pork sausage. We use turkey sausage. Okay, this has the same spices and herbs as the pork sausage. This has been lightly sautéed so that you know, the pinkness is taken out. It has the same. You actually try one of these. It's really
Okay, this is turkey.
That's turkey sausage.
Okay.
This Shady Brook Farms outfit makes
very nice.
Isn't that good? Mm-hmm. Because it's got all the.
It has nice seasonings in it.
So this is the Shady Brook Farms sweet Italian turkey sausage, and it's 90% fat-free.
Now that's something relatively new to
It
me,
is.
and I think the consumer out there should be aware of this.
Yes, this is really a nice product.
Okay, that must be pretty new on the market because I wasn't aware of the turkey sausage.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is they make both sweet and hot.
Okay.
So that you can use them year-round if you want to cut them up on pizzas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we add this here. Where's the spoon? Here we go. We add the turkey sausage. Okay. I mean, what you have to do when you're these Shady Brook sausages come in a casing, so you just slit the casing and take the meat out, and then spread it out in a pan just like you would a pork sausage.
Those casings are very light, though, because if I remember, certain turkey. Yes, very light.
Okay, so we're kind of stirring this a little bit while we're at it, getting it on the table a little bit. Now.
That's all right.
Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add things for texture and also for flavor. These are pecans.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get the finest grade. They should be broken up into little pieces.
Okay.
So we add the pecans. Now, this is something that we've kind of played around with. It's not exactly traditional. These are Chinese water chestnuts.
I was going to say, they look like water chestnuts to me.
And water chestnuts really, they have no flavor really, but they've got terrific texture, and they never,
crunchy?
Yes,
Great.
Because I hate mushy stuffing, so we just put that in there.
Okay.
And now for herbs, we also put salt and pepper, and we've also got some chopped parsley.
Fresh parsley.
And some fresh sage. We put that in there. And now this is important. Don't put too much liquid in this, because what's going to happen is the fresh turkey, which is so moist, is going to steam the stuffing when it's inside the bird. So you don't need that much. People have a tendency to put too much liquid in. So this is like a half a cup or something like that, just to moisten it.
What is that, chicken broth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
That's
turkey
a half
broth, if you
cup
can do
of
that.
chicken broth.
So we mix this up, but I'm not going to do that because we've got it right here all done.
Oh, the magic of TV.
Yes, isn't that great? And here it is all done and beautiful and ready to stuff into the bird. Now, this can be made ahead, a day or so ahead, not too much more than that, but then refrigerate it. Because you've cooked things in here, they're still going to be warm, so the idea is to definitely get it cool. And then you should also have your bird in the refrigerator. This is really important.
Have the bird already in the refrigerator?
Yes. And stuff them when they're both refrigerated, and stuff it only at the last minute.
Okay, is this for safety reasons?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. So we want to remember about bad bacteria.
When you get a fresh turkey home, go back. You take here it is. It's all nicely wrapped and so on. You take the wrapping off, rinse it under cold water, blot it dry with paper towels, and wrap it again loosely with plastic wrap or wax paper or even paper towels. And then the next morning, when it's ready to be roasted, you've got it. It's like this. You put the glaze on.
Do you also take everything out then?
Oh yes, definitely.
Take everything out.
Take the giblet. There's a bag inside with giblets with the gizzards and what have you, and you're going to want those for your gravy anyway. Yeah. So you take those out. Okay. Don't ever roast the turkey with the bag in it.
People
have done that.
Yes, it's happened.
And then you've got your turkey and your stuffing. You put them together. Now.
Now there are two places to stuff a turkey.
Exactly.
Some people don't know this.
Exactly. There, you can also go in the neck area, in the neck cavity here, and that's nice. You can also have two different stuffings if you want.
Right.
But let me tell you something that we do. We generally have a lot of people at our house, maybe 20, 22 people.
I heard 22 are coming
22 this year. The rule of thumb for buying turkey is 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds per person. So 22 people, you're talking a 33-pound turkey.
And
that's
we're talking
too big.
how many hours are we? Oh.
That's too big. Yeah. First of all, there are a lot of people who probably can't get a 33-pound turkey in their ovens.
That's true.
So what we suggest is 2 16-pound turkeys. And the wonderful thing about that is you can use 2 different kinds of stuffing. You get 4 drumsticks instead of 2.
Right.
And I think that the ideal size of a turkey is from 12 to 18 pounds. I think those are they're the plumpest and best.
What size is this?
This is a 12.
12. Okay.
So definitely do that.
Oh, and it's much easier to work with.
Yeah.
It's smaller than one big.
And it's much easier to carve.
Yeah.
Also.
Right.
Now, moving right along.
Okay.
We are. You mentioned carving.
Right.
And a lot of people are terrified of carving. Now, you can kind of hide in the kitchen and carve it, but there's another method, and it's also wonderful for people who are doing a small party. In other words, they're not having 22 people, they're having 4 or 6 or something like that. And that is to take a fresh turkey breast and stuff it with stuffing, and then roll it together and carve it, slice it just like a loaf of bread.
That's fabulous, because now we don't have any bones to deal with.
No bones, nothing.
That's my kind of cooking.
This is the fresh turkey breast as it comes, and it's got a bone in it. Now you can either bone it yourself or just say to the meat man, here, could you bone this for me? This is a boned turkey breast that has been butterflied.
Why don't you explain what that means?
All right.
I don't think
it looks like a butterfly.
I don't think a lot of people understand what butterfly means.
Okay, it's just opened out and flattened and pounded. Now, as you see, there's the skin. It's the skin side down. And what we do is, this is so easy you can't believe it. This is a mixture of spices. These are the basic Thanksgiving spices. Mace, allspice, cinnamon. Cinnamon is the secret ingredient here. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Thyme. I mean, actually, you can just kind of make it up.
Parsley, rose
sage, rosemary, and thyme, right? Okay. And here, I've got a list, actually, of what we have. We've got salt and pepper, cinnamon, allspice, thyme, ground cloves, ground mace, ground cardamom. About a quarter to a half a teaspoon of each. Mixed in here. And
now, what gives it that pungent flavor? Is it the cardamom?
I think it's the cinnamon.
Yeah? Oh.
Cinnamon is really wonderful in this. Although it may sound weird to people, this is really fabulous. So we just sprinkle it over the non-skin side of this thing. And I put a little bit, so we'll just kind of rub it in. It's good, hands-on kind of cooking.
Oh, of course.
Just rub it in.
Move this over.
All right. Now we take our stuffing and we kind of put it in there like this, in the center. There we go.
Okay, between 2 butterflied.
Yeah, in other words, this is not, I haven't cut these apart.
Right.
They're still one piece. And actually, you can get a lot more in it than that, but I'm gonna just put a little bit. And then you roll it, and that's real simple to do. Just roll it up like this, and you can skewer it or tie it if you want, and that's it. It's done.
I like this recipe.
It's really easy.
Yeah, sounds good too.
Now you take a little bit of, this is buttered aluminum or greased or whatever, aluminum foil. Now don't take it too far because I'm going to stick it right in here. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, that's in there. Now, if you want it to baste internally, you can put a couple of strips of bacon on top if you don't mind that. It's not very much fat. It's just enough to keep it moist. Then you just roll it up. Tie the ends. Boom. There it is. Nice little package.
Fabulous.
And roast it.
How long would you cook that for now?
Hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe.
And how many pounds is that about?
That's about 4 pounds, 5 pounds. But it's pure. No, I guess it's more than that. It's maybe 6 pounds. But it's pure, unadulterated meat, so that there's no waste involved. I mean, you don't have a carcass, you don't have bones, and so on. So
that would serve.
That will serve probably 8 people. As you can see, I cut this in half. Here's the stuffing in the middle, and the white meat all around. And it's really lovely, and it cuts so easily. Look, okay?
Yeah.
And it makes a very lovely slice.
And you could you also use that molasses glaze on here as well?
Definitely, and
that would
not only that, you just put this on a plate and put some gravy on top of that. It's very elegant looking, but it's also delicious and obviously easy to carve. And that's the key thing. Now, what do you do with all this turkey? Well, we generally, actually, last year we cooked a 3rd turkey just to have leftovers. And it was, there are many things you can do, and there are a lot of recipes in Thanksgiving dinner for leftovers. So this is one of the easiest, and this is something that's great year-round. I mean,
yes, I read this one. I think
we can very often we'll buy one of these breasts and just cook it up, and then not even serve it. Just slice it, cut it into cubes, and make the salad with it. And this is very simple. We start with the cut up. This is the turkey breast meat cut up into cubes. We add that here.
Now this chutney, is this your chutney or?
No, this is just store-bought.
Because I know you make chutney as well.
Oh yes, but this is just store-bought. Chutney is a kind of a generic term for any kind of a mixture of fruits and sugar and so on. To this, we are going to add some cut up scallions or green onions. Okay, doesn't matter. I mean, you know, just the white parts and the green parts are both fine. Put that in. And this is some cut up celery.
Right.
And that goes in there. Always good for texture. And these are grapes, seedless grapes that have been sliced in half lengthwise. This is a great thing to get the kids to do because it's kind of labor intensive and so on, but it's very easy to do, and we add those. And then we have some slivered almonds that go in here also. Okay, those are the basic ingredients of the salad. Now, if I can just have that bowl over there.
Sure.
Now we're going to make the dressing, which is very simple. It's just mayonnaise.
Now, how much mayonnaise? Just to
taste.
To
I mean,
taste.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And you can use the the low-calorie mayonnaise too. It's fine. Then we add this is the chutney, and you can find this in any shop. Generally, I think
in the preserve section store?
It might be in what they call the gourmet section, or it might be with the preserves. It's this is called Major Grey chutney, which is different than others. That's not a brand. It's a name of a kind of a particular kind of chutney that's made. I think it's made with mangoes actually.
Well, that sounds interesting.
But there we go. You add the chutney to the mayonnaise, and then we have basic curry powder. Okay. There's a lot of it here, so I'm not going to use it all.
What do you think about it? Tablespoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we stir this up. And this is really difficult, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right, then we put it on the salad and mix it up.
Now, what kind of a bread would you serve that on? I know what I would probably like a
I like a kind of an eggy
Pita
bread or a
or
pita.
croissant.
Yeah, pita would be great because
Pita bread is my-
it does kind of fall apart a little bit, so it's a pita will control it nicely.
whole wheat pita.
Yeah, definitely. So.
Of course, in San Francisco, we have that nice sourdough bread.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
But I don't know that
fabulous?
I'd use sourdough bread on this. You know, sourdough is almost too strong a
Yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
I think pita is a great idea. Then you can either put it in a sandwich or you can serve it as a salad. And there we go. And you get to taste this.
And I see we're a left-handed chef.
Yes. It's funny, my wife and I are both left-handed, and all four of our children are right-handed, so obviously it's nothing that gets passed down.
That didn't impede your progress, did it?
No.
Not one bit. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. This looks fabulous.
It's delicious.
You know, I feel like Jane, what is it, Jane London on Good Morning America? She gets to taste all these things.
I was on Good Morning America last year, and I was doing eggnog, and I just spilled it all over Charlie Gibson.
Did you really?
All over him.
Okay, well, those things happen.
They do. Let's see, are there some other tips that we can talk about? Okay, did we talk about reversing the turkey?
No.
All right, this is something that in the most perfect situation, yes, you should start the turkey when you roast it upside down, breast side down, so that it gets brown on the underside before you turn it over.
Now, how do you do that without it jiggling all over the place, you know?
The problem is I wouldn't do it with more than a 12 or 13 pound turkey, because try to pick up a hot turkey, especially if you're alone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've bounced them off the floor.
Right.
So the way to get around that is to have it on a rack so it's up high and it gets brown underneath.
Okay. So that's the ideal way, is to, and I imagine the juices drip through nicer.
Well, it's good because it does redistribute the juices when you're cooking it that way. But if you don't want to do it, don't. The argument about cooking stuffing inside or outside of the bird, I think we've talked about that, but we really feel strongly about putting it in the bird.
I think it's more flavorful that way.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
right.
And it's festive, you know, when you're at the table and you spoon that stuffing out of the bird. It
Now, do
looks
you
great.
carve at the table?
I do.
Oh.
Well, let's
That
talk about
frightens
carving.
me.
Let me talk about carving. I'm just going to demonstrate this a little bit on the side. What you should do in the kitchen with a boning knife is remove the legs and the wings, because no matter how good you are, it's going to look awkward while you're doing that. But if you can cut them off cleanly, you can put them back on so that it looks like they haven't been removed. But the secret of carving is to do a lateral cut. Now let me explain how that is.
This sounds
Usually,
almost medicinal.
no, well, usually the way people carve is to go around the shape of the rib cage, but that's difficult to do because you're cutting across the grain and what have you. If you make a cut right down here, parallel to the table, directly in, keep your knife level with the table, and go until you hit bone.
So you go away from yourself.
Yeah, you're going in
I see.
this way, like that. You will have a nice smooth edge, and you can just cut down directly and slice it just like a loaf of bread.
Oh, and most people go this way and then struggle with it.
Oh, it's terrible, and it gets
Okay.
all
right.
crumbly and
So make a good slice in.
and then cut down,
okay.
and you'll have nice
All right.
clean
All right, I just learned
slices with a
something.
good clean edge.
All right, I won't struggle this Thanksgiving. All right, have we covered all the
I
recipes?
think we've got it all. There are 165 recipes in this book, so I mean we can go on for another couple of weeks. But I think the important thing that people should do, as long as they have time now, plan ahead. No matter if this is their first Thanksgiving. There are a lot of recipes in the book that are, practically all the recipes in the book are done with instructions on how far they can be prepared in advance, and most of them can be prepared in advance. I know for me, I have 2 kids that are in college. I see them for the first time in several weeks at Thanksgiving time. I don't want to spend my time in the kitchen. I want to be with them.
Right.
So I want to do as much as I can ahead of time. And for somebody who works, it's very easy to prepare. You know, spend a couple of hours Monday, Tuesday night, and by the time Thanksgiving comes around, all you have to do is warm things up and you're ready to roll.
And especially today with microwave, we can get everything ready, and we can microwave or heat up a lot are the vegetables and
Definitely.
side dishes.
Don't try to microwave the turkey.
Never.
Never.
Never. That would be a sin.
But a lot of the recipes in the book are for vegetables that are kind of cooked in casseroles,
Right.
like mashed potatoes or
Your
sweet
turnip
potatoes
recipes.
or turnips or what have you. They can be done up to a point in advance, and then they can be microwaved just to heat them up.
Right. Fabulous. Okay, well, it was very, very nice to have you on
Well,
the show.
thank you
It
very
was
much
a
for having
pleasure.
me.
And I know I got some nice tips from the book, and as well as from your show today. And we'd like to have you come back again, maybe.
Maybe next year.
And we can do another version of Thanksgiving dinner. So thank you.
Thank
and
you,
it was
Carol.
a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Good night now.